Okay, what if a founder's genius, their actual wisdom, didn't have to disappear when they're gone? It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? Well, today we're diving into a concept that's becoming very, very real: creating a digital heir to make a legacy last forever.
So, let's get right into it. Could a business titan's legacy actually become immortal? I mean, think about it. We're talking about legendary figures. People like Cheng of Nippon Paint and Ngen of Worldwide Hotels. These are giants of Asian business.
You know, these aren't just your average success stories. They're epics of sheer vision and grit. You've got Liang, who took a small Singapore factory and built a global paint empire. And then there's Chong, the hotel magnate, who started with just one hotel and created this massive hospitality group. The kind of instincts and insights these guys had, it's literally priceless. All right, so that incredible success brings up this huge challenge, one that every single great company has to face eventually. Once the founder is gone, what happens? How in the world do you preserve their blueprint? That special sauce, that unique way of thinking that created everything in the first place. And this quote, wow, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? The hardest part of any business is not the first sale, but the first succession. See, it's not really about passing on the money or the buildings. It's about the intangibles, that magic, the very essence of the person who dreamed it all up. So the real question is, how do you bottle that lightning? I mean, for centuries, we've had our ways of trying to do this, right? You've got biographies, big foundations, statues, company archives, all that stuff. And look, don't get me wrong, that's all super valuable for understanding history, but they all have one huge flaw. They're static. They're a snapshot of the past. They can't actively guide you into the future. And that leads us to the real puzzle here, the billion-dollar question. How do you preserve a founder's instincts, that dynamic, in-the-moment gut feeling that a visionary has? How could a future CEO possibly tap into the gut feeling of a Cheng Liang or the incredible strategic patience of a Chong? It seems impossible, right? Well, this is where things get really interesting. This is where technology steps in with a truly groundbreaking answer. We are talking about entering the era of the digital heir, a living, breathing legacy. Okay, so what exactly is a digital avatar in this sense? Let's be clear, this is not just a hologram or some pre-recorded video. We're talking about an AI-powered, totally interactive virtual version of a person. It's built by feeding a lifetime of their data into an AI, so it can actually hold a real conversation and give you insights based on their real personality and strategic thinking. So yeah, forget about some dusty biography on a shelf. Think of this as a living archive. Or even better, picture this. It's like a super intelligent portrait in the boardroom that actually talks back. You could walk up to it and ask for its perspective on a huge new business deal. Wild, right? So, how on earth is something like this even created? Well, it's a pretty fascinating process. First, you have what's called data ingestion. Basically, you compile everything: decades of interviews, writings, emails, documented decisions. Then the AI engine gets to work, training on all that data. And it's not just learning what the person said, it's learning how they thought, their patterns, their voice. And finally, you build the interactive interface, a realistic avatar that brings that digital mind to life. And get this, it's not just for one-on-one chats. This is about an AI-powered legacy that can operate at scale. Imagine it generating a brand new keynote speech for the company's annual meeting, or a welcome address to new hires, all of it delivered in the authentic voice and style of the founder. It's a way to keep their presence and their principles alive across the entire organization. Okay, let's switch gears a bit. Let's think of this like a pitch. What's the real value proposition here? Why would a family office, like the ones managing the legacies of Cheng Liang or Chong Yin, even consider investing in something like this? What can it actually do for them? Well, the applications are, honestly, they're huge. A digital heir can mentor future generations of leaders. It could provide strategic advice that's always based on the founder's core principles. It could help onboard new executives, making sure the unique company culture doesn't get diluted over time. It's like having an interactive historian and the living embodiment of your company's core values all rolled into one. And this chart really shows the massive leap we're talking about. It's the difference between a static legacy and a dynamic one. Think about it. Instead of just reading a book, you're actually asking the author questions. Instead of looking at a portrait, you're having a conversation with the person in it. You're moving from a simple historical record to an active, strategic guide for the future.
Just let that sink in for a second. Imagine the next generation of leaders being mentored by the founder forever. Imagine the future CEO of a company like Nippon Paint or Worldwide Hotels facing a huge crisis and being able to ask a digital Cheng Liang, what would you do? That kind of continuity, that unbroken vision, it's a total game changer.
Okay, so obviously this goes way beyond just business and boardrooms. This technology pushes us into some really deep territory. It forces us to ask some huge questions about our digital afterlife, about memory, identity, and what it even means to leave a legacy. Because this is more than just preserving a memory, you see. It's about creating an interactive identity, something that can stick around, keep engaging with the world, and maybe even keep learning long after we're gone. And that, of course, brings up a really thorny, fascinating question. If a legacy can think and speak for itself, who or what does it become? If an AI avatar of, say, your great-grandfather continues to have conversations and learn new things for 50 years after he's gone, is it still him? Or has it become something or someone new?
And eventually, this kind of tech might not just be for billionaires. It could be for all of us. So I want to leave you with this final thought. If you could be digitally immortal, what would you leave behind? What wisdom, what piece of yourself would you want to pass on as an interactive guide for the generations that follow you? It's a pretty powerful thing to think about.